Alright everyone, welcome back to Street City Studio. I'm John, and today I wanted to talk about action figures with gimmicks. Now, there's lots of different gimmicks. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. So, I'm going to try and focus on the gimmicks that I like. What makes a good gimmick for an action figure? Or some of the gimmicks that I've found I like. Alright? No, I don't know about you guys, but I know a big one for me, right, is dismemberment, or a limb, removable limbs. That's a good example. I was doing the video yesterday and brought him in, and that's kind of what made me think about this video today, was how much I like this figure, even though he's not very posable, just because of the gimmick. I really do like that gimmick. And Star Wars especially is really good at delivering on a severed limb gimmick. Right? One of my favorite figures is this Wampa, because of his severed limb gimmick. Right? I really like to see this Wampa. Right? Just like that. For me, that severed limb gimmick, right? Like Anakin just came through and tried to rescue his mom or whatever. Luke just came through and escaped the Wampa cave. I like that. Alright. And Star Wars is real good about this. This is one thing that I gotta praise Star Wars for, is that it's not just an armless Wampa. It's a fully intact Wampa that can stand there and look menacing. Right? Just like the Tusken here. He can look menacing on the shelf. He looks good. They both do. Right? And that's what I'm talking about. In today's day and age, with all these nice looking figures coming out, some of these older ones are hard to hold their own. But some of them still find a place on my shelf, that's for sure. Right? Especially with a gimmick like this. Right? And like I said, Star Wars is not shy. Right? Ponda Baba here has his severed arm. His arm severed by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Right? It's got that little dark spot on his sleeves. Or you got, you can swap it out with the no dark spot. I like that. I usually keep the dark spotted one, but he's got the extra hands. I like that too. Extra hands goes a long way, especially for someone like him, where there's some debate as to what's appropriate. Yeah, give us both of them. That's perfect. That's I think this is the Black Series one, not the Vintage Collection. A Black Series 3 3/4. But hey, that's a great figure. I love this figure. I don't need any other Ponda Baba figure. Because it has both options. Multiple options. That's a perfect gimmick for his character. Right? Just like the Wampa, that's a great gimmick for his character. Now, the Tusken, we've seen Tuskens that don't have heads that fall off, so he's not the best Tusken figure, but he still holds his own. Right? And even figures like Luke here, right? No, I couldn't find his hand. It's here somewhere. I actually have two versions of this guy. One with the bruising and the dark washes on his clothes, and one cleaner looking. But I really like this figure because of the removable hand here, right? The little magnet that goes on there, just like his head. It's on with a magnet. But not just that, it comes with the tourniquet device that plugs into the Millennium Falcon. That thing will be too big to get in the shot, though. I ain't even gonna try. Alright, but again, this figure doesn't pose in any poses, except for that, really. But especially the one with the bruising and dark washes, he looks great still. He's a little goofy looking, maybe, in the face, in his pose, but it's not bad. Looks good. And the gimmick saves it, keeps it from becoming obsolete, I think. Right? Just like this Tusken. If it weren't for that gimmick, this would be the worst Tusken I have. But it's worth keeping around just for that, I think. Right, some other ones. Right, this is very similar in that tone, right? He's a good one. Let's get this out of here, maybe. Right. But he's a good example, not just with the limbs, but he has removable clothing as well. His whole outfit changes. Long sleeve to short sleeve, right? Burnt up to not burnt. That's a great one. That's a great example. It's a whole transformation, but it's still in that category, I think. Removable limb gimmick, right? And even maybe to a lesser degree, right, is that last Anakin. I really like that I can swap out his robot arm. Right? Let's do that, right? Get the robot arm out and put that flesh hand back in, right? There it is, see? Have him and Obi-Wan fighting Dooku, right? Boom. There goes his hand. I like that a lot. I like that they included both versions so I can go back and forth. That's a great gimmick figure, right? A great limb loss. I don't want to celebrate limb loss, but they do a good job of making it into a toy, right? And even to lean out of Star Wars a little bit, even Jurassic Park has done it. Now, this figure is not the one that does it, but I just wanted to include him for visual reference, as I know there's that exclusive one. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but there's an exclusive one who has the arm gimmick. I believe it's got a dark spot just like Ponda Baba here, right? So I know there's one of them. But even just with this one, right, he came with multiple arms, and I could pull his arm off and kind of fake it. It just doesn't have that dark spot, right? See? Oh, where's my arm? Right? Oh, that's Samuel Jackson. I suppose he probably swore a lot more than I'm gonna, but you get what I'm saying. Makes for a good gimmick on a figure. And now Star Wars, again, Star Wars is probably doing some of the best gimmicks, right? Because I know G.I. Joe has had a lot of spring-loaded missiles and stuff, but nobody, I don't think especially adult collectors, wants a spring-loaded missile, right? We want a missile like this, like Boba Fett, Deluxe Boba Fett. Here it came with this missile with the little flare and the big flares, but not just that, right? The rocket comes out, goes back in, but not even just that. That flare comes off, right? I can put one of these big flares on in the place of that little flare. Right? That's a functional gimmick. That's got play value, posability value, right? Put that missile right back in and it's boom, right? But not just the rocket firing gimmick, right? But the jetpack. The jetpack is a gimmick, right? It's like several gimmicks rolled into one, right? And again, this figure is a great example of gimmicks done right, I think, right? He's also got the removable helmet gimmick, which is very high on my list. I like a removable helmet, right? Just like, you know, removable glasses and the headset, right? I like all of that. I'd rather have a removable helmet than a head swap. But I don't prefer when they make those helmets way too big, right? And even another example in a similar vein, right, is the blast effect. The blast effect is a great gimmick. I don't want a spring-loaded missile launcher. I want to be able to stick a muzzle flare on the end, right? That's way better to me. That's so much cooler to me. And these are the kinds of gimmicks that really work, I think. The gimmicks that have play value, right? Posability value. What do you think? What kind of gimmicks really get you guys going? Like I said, some removable helmets, removable glasses, right? Guns that fit in the holsters, come out of the holsters. Those are all great gimmicks, right? But severed limbs is a great gimmick. I don't know if I prefer the magnet. I don't know what I prefer. The magnet gimmick. The magnet or the unplug. Right? That unplug works real well. My complaint about this is that it falls off too easily, I think. It's too easy to get it lost. Where's the plug? I don't have any complaints, really. I suppose it limits his articulation. He doesn't have the range out to the side. He just has a swivel because of it. But I think it works. But yeah, what kind of gimmicks you guys into? Let me know about it in the comments. I appreciate it. If you want to check out my photography, I'd appreciate that as well. Go check it out at Street City Toys on Instagram. Right? You can check me out on Facebook too, I guess. But Instagram is Street City Toys. Leave some comments over there too. Trying to think if I'm missing anything. I think that's about it. I appreciate you joining me. I'll talk to you again real soon. Keep playing with them toys. I'll talk to you soon.